Hi, it's Jane, and today I'm going to show you how I made this little piece of artwork. This is my daily junk art challenge, and I make artwork on 5x7 pieces of cardboard. This piece I layered 10 pieces of cardboard. Actually, there's 11 with the back piece, but I layered 10 pieces of the cardboard together to make it that thick, and I covered it with some old paper and some fabric and an image. I had cut out a hole in it, and I put some little bottles in it with my little pieces of paper in there with secrets on them, my secrets, and I can't tell you what they are because they're secrets. So they're in there, and the only way to find out what the secrets are is to take this piece of artwork apart and look inside. And then what else I put in there is some little poker chips, but you can use cardboard, or you can use checkers, or squares of some, squares like what do you call those tiles with the letters on them? Scrabble tiles. Whatever makes you happy. So anyways, this is what I'm making today. I hope you stick around and watch. And at the end of the video, I will actually tell you one of my secrets that are in this bottle. So stick around, and I hope you have fun making this little piece of artwork on your own. And we'll see you in a minute. Today I'm working on another art piece, a daily junk art challenge. And I decided I was going to make this like sort of a 3D piece of art. And I've already started it. What I did was I cut out one square and then traced the next piece, the next piece, and the next piece, and cut the pieces out, glued them together to make, let me see how many layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are going to be 10 layers of the cut pieces and 1 layer of the solid piece for the backing, like that. And what I did, this is the first piece that I cut out. I cut the square out, laid it down on the blank piece, traced around the hole, then cut it out with a utility knife or box cutter. And if I needed to, I used an X-Acto knife in the corners. Like sometimes the little corners get stuck, so I would use it in the corners. So I'm going to show you how I glued the last piece down. Now normally I wouldn't use a glue stick to glue my pieces down like this. I would use my PVA glue, but I'm going to be covering this entire thing, so it's all going to be sealed. So it doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that it's down there. So I'm just going to do that last piece here. Get it all glued up, and then fit my last piece on there. And I just sort of lay it down on all sides to make sure that it's all even everywhere, and press it together. And if it, like I said, if it's not totally pressed together, that's okay, because I'm going to be covering the entire thing with paper and fabric. So I could put the last piece on, but I don't want to right now. I'm going to cover this first and then glue that down. And to show you what I've decided to put inside the holes here, I had these little bottles that I had hanging around. I have 4 of them here, and I wrote down on a little piece of paper a secret, something that I don't want anyone ever to know. That's what secrets are. and I sealed them in the bottle. Afterwards, I dipped the bottles in wax, just the top part, the cover, to seal the covers down. And I have 4 different little bottles here. And you can actually get little bottles like this at craft stores now. So these are actually vintage. They held watch parts that I'd like to use up. I've had them for years and they've just been sitting there doing nothing. So I covered each one with wax, and how I did that was I heated up wax in this old, now wait for this, because this pan has been sitting in my like storage area for probably 2 years, and I didn't have the cover on it, but it still had the old wax in it. So what has happened is, over time, little bugs got in there. There's a bug right there, and there's like dust in there, and there's all kinds of things in there. But you know what? I didn't really care. So what I did was I just heated up the wax in this pan. It's just like I said, it's an old, where's the end? Oh, there it is. It's an old, you know, what do you call these pans? I can't remember what they call these pans, these old-fashioned pans. Be careful when you get them, because, you know, if they're old like this, sometimes the cord can be in bad shape. But this was my mother-in-law's, so I know it worked okay. She doesn't know I did this to it, though. But I usually don't go beyond 180 degrees, and that's why I have a thermometer in there. Otherwise the wax starts to burn. You don't want it to do that. So anyways, that's my wax. I just dipped it in there after I oh, there's a bug on me. There's a bug on me. I don't know where it went. Oh, well. Okay, there was a bug on me. Okay, so I got that stuck. The bug is still somewhere and I'm still thinking about it. But okay, let's go on. What I'm going to do with this first. I got a tickle in my throat today. I started this new diet, and because I was on this diet some years ago and I lost weight without even intending to. I just went on the diet. It's really not a diet. It's really a way of life that I should be eating this way. You know, good foods and no sugars or gluten. And I cut out the coffee. So I've been when I cut out the coffee, I got this horrendous headache, and I was laying flat out for a little while. But I'm back on my feet now. Ugh. This is my matte medium, and I'm going to take this old book pages and just tear them up and start gluing them down all over the surface. All over the sides. I will go over the sides after, but I just want to get the surface first. I brush on top and underneath. If it bubbles, I'm not going to care, because it's going to be covered with fabric after. Or actually, it's going to be covered with a gauze, this stuff here, which I wrapped some, I eco-dyed it with some leaves and flowers, and I just kind of rolled it up and coffee stained it, and, you know, boiled it in a pot, and it didn't come out that great, but it does have some stains on it, and see, there's some grungy stains right there, but it'll work. I don't think it'll be the exact color that I want it to be. I didn't want it to have too much color. I wanted it to be mostly the natural natural color of the fabric. It's unbleached fabric. What do you call that stuff? Can't remember. Can never remember things anymore. If somebody knows, you can tell me. I just don't remember. Never had a good memory, but the older I get, the worse it gets. I'm gonna be 65 in April. Yep, 65. I'm already retired. I took an early retirement so I can have fun doing this stuff. I decided to do videos. I mean, I watched so many people doing their videos, and it's like, oh, I can teach people stuff too. You know, I've been doing art for so long. You know, I can teach somebody something, you know. Maybe these are all the same things that other people teach, but I don't know. Do I have a different twist on something? You know, who never knows. Alright, so I've got all the top covered. And I'm going to start going over the sides. We'll get the middle after. Start going over the sides. I use this old catalog to glue on. After I get the top sheet messy, I can just kind of throw that away and use the next sheet. Works out pretty good. I don't want to put too much over the back side because this is going to be glued down as well, and I don't want any lumps there. So I might just cut that off. You'll see what I mean when I put that last piece on. When I cut these squares or these rectangles out, they didn't all come out even. Some of them are sticking out more than others, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be covering that up with this paper and then that fabric. So, you know, even if I wasn't covering it up, it's still an interesting little element to the art piece. So if you have that when you make yours, it's no big deal. my camera phone kicked off again, so I have no idea how much you saw. What I did was I take this fabric, this gauzy fabric, cheesecloth, that's what it's called, and put gobs of matte medium down, and I'm making a lot of wrinkles, except a little bit smoother on the bottom here because I want to put a picture on there, an image of these buildings. It's like an image of buildings. So I gotta keep watching my camera. I don't know why it's doing that. I have a feeling I'm getting phone calls, even though I put it on Do Not Disturb. I'm still getting the phone calls, and it's cutting my phone off. I don't know how to avoid it. I don't know what else to do. So anyways, like I said, I'm going to stop for a second, and I'm going to dry this glue, and then I'm going to put another layer of glue. Hold on. All right, it's not completely dry, but I can deal with that because I just want to keep adding the glue down until I get it stuck down the way I want it to be stuck down. And I don't want too many loose fabric pieces sticking up. I want them to be pretty much, you know, stuck right down there. And I still have to do the sides and the inside of the hole. So this might take me a little while to do this. Sticking down there. Probably ruining my brush, but this one was kind of on its way out. Did my phone cut off, or was I able to show you what these circles are right here? I don't know if you can see those circles. They are poker chips. They're smaller than usual poker chips. This is the box that they came in. And I don't know where I picked them up. They're U.S. Anchor poker chips. Plain assorted. They're 7/8 of an inch. So the box is a little bit broken. It's pretty cool though. I love this. I love stuff like this. I mean, whenever I see things like this, or those little bottles, or, you know, little bulbs, like, you know, light bulbs, or tubes, you know, that go into old radios and any kind of thing like that, I pick it up because I just like using them in my artwork. They had a really interesting little detail. So anyways, I am going to cut out right now and let this dry, and I'll be back. All right, remember I told you there was a bug on me? Well, there it is. It's a stink bug. He's right there. Can you see him walking around? So I think I'm gonna go put him over there. If I squish him, he's gonna stink, and I don't want to squish him anyways. So I'm gonna put him on the other side of the room, and I will be right back. I flipped them. All right, so here I am back here. This is relatively dry, and I can start sticking it to the sides. All right, I've got it all glued down on all sides except for the centerpiece. And again, I'm going to let this dry before I handle it too much to get the centerpiece done. All right, it's still a little bit tacky, but I think I can work with this piece in here. I think what I'm going to do is just take my little snippy scissors and go ahead in there and just snip an X into the corners. And my scissors aren't snipping very well. I might have to get another pair of scissors. They're great on paper. I've been using these on paper so much that on fabric they're not so great anymore. Let's try these. Get right into the corner there. Yeah, these are better. These are fairly new. So then what I can do is just, and I kind of want it to be rough. And so if some of the fabric sticks out, that's actually what I wanted to do. So let's work on that with the matte medium. I'm just sort of tamping it down and folding it over and making bumps. And so I don't know if you can see how bumpy and messy looking it is, and that's just the way I want it. It's like I said, I've never worked with gluing this, fabric down like this before over a piece, and it's worked out pretty well. I mean, I'm enjoying this. I think it's looking the way I wanted it to look. I mean, in my mind. So I'm putting, like I did on this everywhere else, I'm putting lots of gobby glue. Takes longer to dry, but it works. So that's what it looks like so far. And again, I'm going to dry it and I'll be back. Okay, it's pretty dry. Not totally dry. But I'm going to be setting it aside for a little bit to do my bottom piece, which I was actually, oops, I just lifted that piece up a little bit. Okay, take it down. The inside, if you can see, I don't know if you can see inside there, it's not, some of the paper is showing, like right here. And strangest thing, this is the underside, and the word right there is underside. I just thought that was kind of funny. So I'm going to put this aside because I thought that I was just going to glue that on there. I decided instead, and I keep unsticking that side there, that side piece. I decided what I'm going to do is put some fabric on there. Some of the same stuff on here all over it, because I think it would stick better to this, to the back side of this piece. So let's do that. First, I think I'll cut it out. Cut it out. This down here has a salvage on it, and I'm going to cut that off because that'll be bulky on the back. Still has plant material in my fabric from eco dyeing. I want it smooth because it's going to be stuck down, so I'm just smoothing it down as much as I can. You can see a little bit of the plant that I used to dye this fabric. I think this is a piece of a flower. I think it was a lily, like purple lilies from the spring. It's showing up a little bit in the fabric. Too bad I'm going to be covering that up, but I can always make another piece, right? And I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the back. As smoothly as I can. Not terribly important because this is the side that is going to be against the wall when you hang the art piece up. But you want it to lay smoothly against the wall. This is a little bit much. Yes, I put my paintbrush in my mouth. I held it with my teeth. I need one of those little brush things that you lay your brush on. I'm sure I can easily make one. Here we are. Now I can stick that piece down on there. So this time I am going to use my PVA glue. If I can, here it is. To stick that down. All right, there. Now I am going to stick that down like that. It's all nice and even on all sides. Some of the back is lifted up, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll glue it down again later. I just want to make sure that this is all nice and glued down. So what I'm going to do now is get some wax paper, which I actually don't have any up here, but I'm going to put a piece of wax paper down, lay this on top, put another piece of wax paper on top of it, and put a weight on top of it and let it dry. So give me a minute and I am going to do that. Hold on. Alright, I piled some books on top of it. To help flatten it and get it nice and glued down. It's still not dry. I should actually leave this overnight to let it dry, but I'm too impatient. So I'm going to work on it anyway. I'll stick it down, I'll put it down on this wax paper to keep the back from sticking. It's actually just the back that's coming up, because it looks like it's stuck down pretty well. Maybe I'll stop for a second and I'll put the blow dryer on the back and make sure that's all nice and glued down. All right, I think it's okay to work with. Get my little, actually I'm just going to take this wax paper right out of here because I don't think I need it. And now I'm going to see how my little jars look in here. It's not going to have a great flat surface to work on. I didn't think of that when I was doing that, but I think I can still flatten it down a little bit. With my bone folder. I'm just going inside there and flattening the bottom shelf, if you want to call it that, down a little bit so that these bottles will sit there a little better. That one. I was thinking of painting the back with gesso, and I think I might still do it because I think it needs that contrast. That one doesn't have a number. Okay, I wanted that one over here, like that. Yeah, I think I do want that contrast. So I'm going to paint the back of this with some gesso. And I can always stain it after I paint it if I want to. Painting the sides as well with gesso. But I'm making it kind of, you know, not right up to the edge, just sort of making it kind of bumpy. I don't know if that's the right way of explaining it, but I'm trying to make it look a little bit like plaster. And I probably could have put some real plaster down there, but I did this. So that gives it a nice background to put my bottles in. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put this piece down here. I'm going to glue this down with the matte medium. Clean my brush off a little bit. I stick it in the water because it dries on my brushes and gets them really stiff, and I just stuck my finger in the gesso. Okay. More matte medium. I think I go through gallons of this stuff. Now, something about these 5x7 boards that I'm using, they're just thin cardboards. They're stiff. They're nice and stiff. So I'm sure, they're not even archival. They're just cardboard. So I think you can cut your own. You can get them, you know, pre-cut for you. You can use matte board. Matte board would be great because if it's archival, you'd be better off. But I wanted to use these up because I've got so many of them. I think I've shown you in another video, but I'll give you an idea of how many of these I have. This is a block of them that I bought. I was working on some project a while ago. This is a whole block. It's covered in saran wrap. Individual pieces. I have no idea how many pieces are in there. I have 2 of these blocks. 2? No, I have 3 of these blocks and some, you know, cut open already from the block. Oh, see, I need a new brush. Anyways, so there you have it so far. So I am going to let this dry. I'm going to actually let this dry overnight, and I'll be back in the morning to finish it up. I'm back, and we're going to finish this project today. I have painted the inside with gesso. It's all nice and dry, and I have my bottles. I actually had 5 of them. I misplaced one, so I was going to use, where is it? I can't remember. I can't find it. I was going to use this other little like game piece, but then I found the 5th one that I had misplaced. I don't know, it was somewhere else on my desk, so I can go ahead and put the 5 little bottles in here with my secrets inside. And that's how I'm going to glue them in, like that. Like that. So for that, I have the E6000 glue because it's nice and strong and it's going to hold. So I'm just going to put some on the bottom. I'm not sure if I just need to put some on the bottom or some on the back. I think I'm just going to put a little bit on the back as well, just to be sure that it holds in there. Like that. There, I like it. And I think that's pretty much done, except that I want to put some matte varnish. I think I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's a varnish that I want this to come out a little bit darker, so I'm going to see if the varnish will help with that. And it won't come out of it. All right, let me check this. It won't come out because there is a thing in there. All right, I'm just going to pour it out. As a matter of fact, yes, just going to pour it out. So, this looks like glue. I hope that this dries clear, because if it doesn't, I imagine if it's a varnish, it's going to dry clear. All right. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but let me dry it, and I'll be right back and see how this did. All right, it did what it was supposed to do. There's actually a nice feeling to it. It's nice and smooth, and the varnish did make it darker, so that's exactly what I wanted it to do. Who makes this? The varnish is just says matte varnish. Master's Touch Fine Art Studio. So it's not very expensive. It was only $2.24, so it wasn't real expensive, and it worked out really great. So I liked it. So this project is done, and I thank you for watching. I hope you go ahead and do one of your own. Just have fun with your own project, and I hope you have fun. And thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe and share and do all those fun things to help me out. And if you really enjoyed this, and I hope you watch my other videos and come back to watch more. And thank you very much. Have a great day. Hi, it's me again, and I did mention in the beginning of the video that I would tell you one of the secrets that are in this bottle. And that secret is that at night when I'm in bed, I cannot, and I'm 64 years old, and to this day, I cannot put a finger or a toe or a hair or any part of my body over the side of the bed, because I imagine there's a little man underneath my bed with an axe, and he's going to come up and chop my fingers off. That's my secret, and that's true. It's some sort of phobia or something, and I've had it since I can remember. I just cannot put a finger or toe over the side of the bed to this day. I don't know why, but there it is. That's my secret. So have fun, and please be yourself and make things. That's all there is to it. Just have fun. So we'll see you. Bye.